I got my hose ran up through the cross member through the hole I drilled. Now we're gonna see if we can squish this down. My hose is bent. My hose didn't feed through. I gotta force it through. There we go. The other side worked really well. It feels like I'm hitting fitting on this one. Let's see. Let's see what happens when I throw some bolts in it. I'm using lock nuts here to make sure it don't vibrate apart. Alright, so I took a hole saw and I cut out this piece out of 3/16 plate, and then I drilled out the hole to fit a 3/8 bolt. Now I'm going to go under, center up the airbag in the hole, put this plate on. And look around to see if I'm hitting anywhere. Oh, I'm hitting right here in the back. I want to go forward as much as I can. Everywhere else looks okay, just forward. Just enough to clear that dude. If I need to, let me show you what I'm doing here. If I need to, I can always come and put a little weld right there, but I don't think it'll need it. That's pretty tight. So there, airbag's in. And you can see right here, there's my two hoses. I'm gonna run them along the frame, but like this hose, right, is coming from the driver's side, and it's gonna go run down the passenger frame rail because that's the way it's pointing. And that other hose is coming from the passenger side, and it's gonna run down the driver's side frame rail. So when they go back into the cab, I'll just have to remember which one's which. No big deal. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna put the front on one valve or if I need two valves, a valve for each side. So right now I only have one. We'll see how it works. So that's where you can see when the bag gets squished, it gets a little close. Right there by that shock mount, but I don't know. Should I worry about it? Not sure. So now I'm going to get the upper A-arm mounted, spindle mounted, disc brake and hub mounted, caliper mounted, shock. But I'm leaving the shims that were in here from the half ton. Let me think. No, those are the shims that were in here from the 3/4 ton. The half ton stuff is still over there on that cross member. So 3/4 ton shims. I hope it's close enough for what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna worry about getting an alignment probably. Probably just figure out how to do it myself, get it close enough. When I put the upper A-arm on the driver's side, the bolts didn't line up. So let's see how this one goes. Well, that one lines up easy. So what I did on the other side, I took my step drill, kind of gave these a little bit of a chamfer to maybe get that bolt to start. It was just enough to get it to start. Whoops. Then you get the little saddle piece lined up right. There we go. Here's that one. That one looks good. Now let's tighten it back up. Now that one's tight. Shims are in, saddle's in good. There. Spindle is next. Okay, so what I want to try to do is get these, see that's the way the cotter pin would go, which is a pain in the butt with a spindle here, so I'm going to try to get it to turn by moving the ball joint. Oh my goodness, that is a tight ball joint. I want to break my little screwdriver. There we go. Once you get it to move, it'll start moving. So then while it's moving, you can turn it and get it in line. This one looks pretty good, so I'm going to leave it alone. Let's see what happens. Oh, the other thing you got to remember, you got to get your caliper back over here. So let's do that. Put the nuts for the spindle up here. The caliper comes over here. And I know you don't want to leave it hanging, but it's only going to be there for a minute. Well, if you keep your spindle straight while you're tightening this stuff up, it'll make your cotter pin holes easier to get at, I hope. Spindle, brake caliper, and we be done. Oh, just remembered I got to repack all those bearings. I've gotten the camera real low because it's still up on jack stands, but I've pressurized the system just to check for leaks. So I'm going to get rid of all that air. Now, there's no air in the system. We're going to lay her on the ground, see what happens. I'm kind of hoping the jack won't come out from underneath it. Yeah. She's so low the jack won't come out. Whew. You don't need no 2-inch drop spindles. Well, let's give it some air. Try and get that jack out of there. I need to put some air in my compressor, but my kids are asleep. Oh, no, I've just had the regulator turned down on my compressor. Let me see if I can go give it some more pressure and see if it'll come back up. Yeah, that's 40 pounds. She's coming up. There's 100 pounds. That's all she's got in her tank. Yep. Let's see if the jack will come out. Oh, no. No good nights. Don't say good night yet. The air compressor over there is low on air. I don't want to wake the kids up by running it, but.
That's pretty cool.
That is low. Low. See if we got any more air to go back up. That's cool. All right, there's about a cool ride height, but it probably won't steer very well. I like it. Creamsicle is now low and slow. Cool. Now I just gotta plumb all these hoses through the cab somehow, huh? Make me a bracket and a manifold and go from there. So I'm gonna close it off there and say, hey Puddin', I'm not sitting on my ass.